My name is Toinette Probart, and I was asked to share my story. You know, we all have a story. I call mine Lost and Found. Each one of us, I firmly believe, have got a need, a desire for acceptance, significance, and security. Now, growing up, I felt none of those. I didn't feel that I was good enough. I didn't feel pretty enough, clever enough, whatever. You know, just not enough. And I was always trying to find acceptance. And in part of this was I had a boyfriend and another boyfriend and another boyfriend. You know the term a loose girl? I think I was a loose girl. I was labeled as a loose girl. And I have so much empathy for people that are labeled like that, because I know I wasn't looking for the one boy after the other. I was so desperate to have a legitimate need to be loved, to be accepted, to be good enough. I had this legitimate need, but I was meeting it in an illegitimate way. And that didn't mean that I did the wrong things with boys. It was just looking for love in all the wrong places. And you know, part of what happened because of that is I was raped when I was 16, and that person also physically abused me. And I was extremely scared to tell anybody because of the abuse. And then later on, when I finally got rid of that person, I managed to get out of that relationship. I also was in another abusive relationship. And you know, when emotional and physical abuse happens to you, it makes you feel even worse, even less accepted and good enough. Well, amazingly, I met somebody that invited me to church. And the first time I was driving in this person's car, I heard music that was like normal music, but then I heard the words God and Jesus, you know, like in between the verses. And I was actually listening to this person talking, so I didn't pay quite attention to everything that it was saying, but those words were then, I thought, what blasphemy. You can't use God's name in vain like that. And what I didn't realize that it was worship music. I've just never heard worship music before in my life. But anyway, I was invited to church by this person, and as I walked into that church building, they were singing these kinds of songs, and I realized, but I want to sing songs like this to God. It was like love songs and with beautiful words. And you know, I actually fell in love with Jesus that day, because I never knew that God was such a loving Father. I knew of God. I grew up knowing about God, but I didn't know Him. I didn't know that you can never exaggerate His goodness, His kindness, His love. He's so amazing. I just love Him with all my heart. And you know, that night, what they called an altar call, they said, if you want to surrender your life to Jesus, I did. And I invited Jesus into my life because I wanted just this feeling that I had inside of overwhelming love. I felt loved, and I loved. And that need that I had, that legitimate need, was filled with the love of Jesus that night. And I just became a totally different person. I didn't have to look for attention anymore. I just felt enough. I felt loved. I felt something was filled. This gap was gone. And it's exactly 30 years ago now. And you know, my life has changed so much since that very first day that I gave my life to Jesus, that the fulfillment that I have, the love I have, and the compassion I have, especially when I hear or see girls that are the loose kind of girls that are labeled like that, my heart goes out for them, because I was lost, but I was found. And I really want to encourage you that what you are looking for in your life is Jesus. He just made all the difference in my life, and I want to encourage you with that.